is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, bandits busted. The heartfelt message to families tonight after a year-long operation ending in the arrest of people selling drugs to kids. And hit them hard. The new chilling threats from President Trump as tensions with Iran hit a new high. Plus, inflation inching upwards. The record-breaking new figures and what it means for the cost of living for American families. But first, we begin with another day of severe weather around the capital city. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Emma Norwood. Mother Nature keeps sending extreme heat, rain, and storms our way this week, but now, what could be in store today? Let's turn to meteorologist Dominic Ferraro for some answers. Dom?
Hey, good evening, Emma. It's good afternoon. So used to saying good evening now after filling in for so long on the night side. But, I mean, we're looking at warm temperatures the rest of the way here. Storm chances then as we go throughout the overnight hours. Wanted to start out quick here in the capital city, looking off to the east in your ABC Seamless camera at 93 here for your afternoon temperatures in both Lincoln, Omaha, 90 in Hastings, 89 in Kearney, and then the lower 90s as well for York. And a little bit breezy out there. Now starting to see those winds change out of the west and northwest around 5, 10, even closer to 15 miles per hour. That is a little cold front moving on through, which will be the basis for our storms later. Also, not far from us, some more severe weather for portions of northeastern Kansas, northern Missouri, into portions of Iowa. Tornado watch in place until 9 o'clock tonight. That's been a fairly busy area here. Several tornado warnings now moving along the Iowa-Missouri border, but we're going to stay quiet at least for the next couple of hours here in the capital city. Maybe another degree or two before we start to cool down to the 80s by 9 o'clock, the 70s. Then as we head through the overnight hours, storm chances do pick up after midnight. We'll have you up to date here in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Tom. And the Kearney community is spending the day cleaning up after storms blew through the area. Kearney police are telling people to avoid the area around 39th and Avenue E as city officials clean the streets of storm debris and fix broken street lights. The street department has set up stop signs throughout the area to replace the downed lights until everything is fixed. And storms sweeping through the capital city this morning. This video taken outside the Channel 8 station here. When severe weather hits your area and you're in a safe spot, we want to see how it's affecting you. Take a video and share it into our Now Local News app, and you may even see it right here on one of our newscasts. Well, we have new details on a deadly crash in southeast Lincoln just this morning. Lincoln police say it happened in this area at the intersection of Eager Drive and Nebraska Parkway. We're told the crash happened around 11:45 last night. LPD says a motorcyclist died in the two-vehicle accident. They say the motorcycle was going west on Nebraska Parkway when it collided with an SUV turning onto Eager Drive. The investigation is ongoing. And we also have new details in the arrests of 2 people selling illegal drugs. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office making the arrests after months of undercover work into illegal mushroom products being sold at a local smoke shop. They say it all started in May of last year when a minor purchased and ate a mushroom gummy. Chief Deputy Ben Houchin says these 2 men are now in Lancaster County Jail. Mirza and Khalil Meskin are each facing charges of possession with intent to deliver. Last fall, LSO says undercover deputies bought more than 4 dozen edible products containing illegal substances. That led LSO to issue 7 cease and desist letters to retailers in Lincoln and Lancaster County. LSO says 6 of them stopped selling the products, but Cloud9 Smoke Shop off of 11th Street did not, and that's when Mirza and Khalil were arrested.
People think when you go to these businesses, these substances are controlled. They're not. And it's scary, and I really want parents to understand and make sure they're watching what their kids are doing. Gummies are made for kids. That's why they do it, to get kids to use this. We're really lucky nobody has gotten seriously hurt.
Authorities say they are working to crack down on all other businesses like Cloud9 in Nebraska selling the illegal products. They say they're involving the Nebraska State Patrol in their ongoing investigations. Well, right now, the U.S. economy gets a big blow with the latest inflation report. Experts are saying it's because the war in Iran is pushing up prices. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Scholes with what it means for our economy.
This is the worst inflation report in more than 3 years. Prices were up 4.2% in May compared to a year ago. We have not seen inflation above 4% since May of 2023. And at the start of this year, the inflation rate was closer to 2%. So what this reflects is just how much the energy price shock from the Iran war is causing prices to go up across the economy. We have seen oil and gas prices come down in the last few weeks, but a new estimate from Moody's Analytics shows that the typical household has now paid $510 extra in fuel expenses, so that includes gas, diesel, and jet fuel, since the war began. Higher transportation costs are also contributing to rising grocery prices. Some of the biggest price hikes we've seen are for fresh fruits and vegetables, like tomatoes up 46%, iceberg lettuce up 37% in the past year. Eggs are down quite a bit. But this inflation story is not just about oil. Other costs like medical care, childcare, electricity bills are also up over the past year. It's all adding to years of stubbornly high prices. In Columbus, Ohio, Elizabeth Scholes, ABC News.
We have new developments now on a struggle over the handling of one city in Nebraska's emergency medical services.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Andrew Ward. Aurora City Council moving forward with a plan for EMS. The council voting unanimously to negotiate a bid with a private company. This comes after weeks of tense discussion between the community, city council, and local firefighters union. But ultimately, city council saying this is what's best for the town.
I know that you represent the group that is willing to submit yourself to be here tonight, and we're very grateful for your confidence in coming and addressing your council. And so this action will not go blindly. You will see continuous flow of information as it becomes available and can be released.
City leaders approving the deal with EMS Unlimited, a private company based out of Colorado. It could take months, though, to finalize it. The firefighters union in Aurora releasing this statement. They say 11 heroes losing their jobs with this move. They write, quote, "This has significant potential to be detrimental to the citizens of Aurora and Hamilton County, not to mention an immediate concern for the livelihood of the employees and their families," end quote. We'll let you know when the deal goes through on air and here on the Now Local News app.
Well, let's switch things over now and talk some football. Big news for Nebraska quarterback commit Trey Taylor today. Taylor officially received his 5th star by 24/7 Sports. For the latest, let's check in with the Channel 8 sports director, Nate Johnson. Nate?
Hey, thank you, Emma. Yeah, for those that have been following Trey, I think obtaining his 5th star was just a matter of time, especially after his MVP showing at the Elite 11 finals. But this is huge news for both Trey and Nebraska football. The news sending some ripples through social media today. Taylor is now the number 8 overall recruit in the 2027 class and the number 1 quarterback nationally, which makes him one of the highest rated prospects to commit to the Huskers in recent years. Taylor, for those who don't know, will play his senior season at Millard South in Omaha this fall, and this guy can absolutely sling it, showing off his arm last year in the Battle of the Boneyard at Memorial Stadium. And Millard South has already begun their summer workouts, and his practice sessions there have been well documented. Taylor not only can play on the field, but he has been an active recruiting voice for Nebraska football since his commitment. He is already one of the most popular or more popular Husker athletes without even enrolling yet. And when he gets to Lincoln, that reception will be something. Excited for Taylor's senior season here in Nebraska. We'll talk more ball coming up in the Sports Zone. For now, though, Emma will send things back over to you.
Thanks so much, Nate. And coming up tonight, the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs are hitting the court in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks are hanging on to a 2-1 series lead, but the Spurs have all the momentum after winning Game 3. Tip-off is set up for 7:30 tonight right here on Channel 8. And right after the break, aid for educators. The new move by state education authorities looking to keep more teachers in our schools and how it'll help them do their job better. Plus, coming up all new at 5, World Cup Connection. How the largest U.S. soccer fan group got its start right here in Lincoln and how they plan on bringing the community together for the World Cup. Department of Education is working to curb a teacher shortage problem here in our state. They're finding new ways to attract and keep more educators in the classroom, and that includes offering large grants to those joining the profession. Right now, the department opening up applications for their Teach in Nebraska Today program. The goal is to provide grants of up to $5,000 a year for teachers to fund activities and spending related to their classroom work. It also offers tuition reimbursement for educators. If you're looking to apply, you must have been a teacher in Nebraska for 5 years or less, earning less than $55,000 a year. You have until July 10th to submit your application. Well, escalations in the war with Iran. President Trump today saying he will conduct more strikes in Iran in retaliation for the downing of an American helicopter. ABC's Olivia Rubin has more.
Today, President Trump saying the United States will launch more attacks in Iran.
We hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today.
The escalation coming after the downing of an American helicopter this week.
We're going to be attacking them very hard.
You're resuming bombing?
Yeah, well, we are. Based on the helicopter, I guess we have the right to do that.
U.S. CENTCOM saying they already struck Iranian assets overnight. Iran responding with strikes towards U.S. targets in the region. Bahrain and Kuwait saying those missiles were intercepted. The president today making it clear he's losing patience with Iran with no agreement on the table, warning they will, quote, pay the price for taking too long to make a deal, saying, quote, they keep playing us for suckers.
They should sign their deal. It's a good deal.
Iran's president writing on social media they will, quote, stand firm against any pressure or threat. An Iranian general going further, saying, quote, every time Trump speaks, we punch him in the mouth again. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command saying it disabled a vessel in the Gulf of Oman today after they say it failed to comply with orders. President Trump praising the naval blockade of Iranian ports, today claiming the U.S. has been secretly, quote, taking out millions of barrels of oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no lights because they don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it.
And Trump today is sharing new details about that helicopter attack, saying an Iranian drone lodged into the helicopter but didn't explode. Both of the pilots were rescued. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Well, let's get a check of your full forecast at 4:30. I hear there's some severe weather in there. Let's check in with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Dom?
Yes, Emma, we're going to have to make sure we're staying severe weather alert as we go through the overnight hours tonight. For the rest of the afternoon and evening, though, hot and humid, especially for us in southeast Nebraska. Temperatures here just before 5 o'clock range from the 80s, then to the lower 90s in the southeastern corner of the state, including us here in Lincoln at 93 degrees. The same story there for Beatrice and in Omaha. And unfortunately, the heat index not any better, the mid-90s. A few spots are trying to work their way close to the triple digits. So again, if you're in southeast Nebraska, any outdoor plans coming up this evening, start drinking water now. Make sure that we take breaks from the heat, especially if we're going out to sporting events, and monitor heat illness symptoms for both yourself and the people around you. Just want to make sure we see everybody stay safe. Other than that, fairly clear skies for the majority of the state, maybe a few passing fair weather clouds as we've gone throughout the afternoon. Here's your kind of front pushing on through. We'll see. There's a chance we could see a spot storm or two try and pop up on that. I think for the most part that will stay south and east of the capital city. Now going forward, we're gonna have to keep an eye on through the overnight hours tonight. Even 10 o'clock, fairly quiet outside of some showers then for some portions of central Nebraska. Now it's kind of that 2 to 4 a.m. windows. We're originally kind of thinking more closer to 1 to 3. Models have kind of worked this a little bit later. Anywhere here along Interstate 80 is where we expect these storms to pop up, and then they will move then off to the north and east. So it's a possibility that we might not even see anything at all here for Lincoln unless those storms form to the south of us. But we will monitor as we go through the early morning hours on Thursday. Certainly some impacts then to the Omaha Metro as they head through the morning commute, and then these storms quickly racing to the north and east as we head through your Thursday. And we're looking at fairly sunny skies by the afternoon, but we got to get past that morning cloud cover and potentially a few showers there first. Then heading into Friday, I mean, look at this. After the last couple of days, you got to sit and kind of just enjoy an image like this as a meteorologist. Clear as we head into your Friday morning and into the afternoon. In terms of severe weather potential, though, scattered severe storms are possible in southeast Nebraska, especially in this yellow colored area on the screen behind me. That's your slight level 2 out of 5 risk. Now, tornado threat, a possibility, but mainly here to the north of Lincoln and Omaha. We can see a brief spin up tornado possible there. Mainly large hail, damaging wind threat. We could see golf ball size hail and 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts in the strongest storms that we see tonight. And then still keeping an eye then on Saturday. I know we got some outdoor events coming up this weekend in Lincoln. Right now, scattered storms are possible for your Saturday afternoon and evening. We'll have plenty more details coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Tom. Time now for a look at what's trending at KOKNTV.com. Here's Channel 8's Mark Fisher.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Mark Fisher, and we're back with another segment of what's trending on KLKNTV.com. First up, the Lincoln Police Department is investigating a deadly accident in southeast Lincoln on Tuesday night. LPD said a 19-year-old motorcyclist was killed in the incident. LPD said it happened at the intersection of Eiger Drive and Nebraska Parkway. The motorcycle was reportedly traveling west on Nebraska Parkway when it collided with an SUV going east on the road and was turning onto Eiger Drive. LPD said the motorcyclist was pronounced dead at the scene. LPD does not believe drugs or alcohol played a factor in this case. Also getting clicks, the Savannah Bananas are looking for local workers to help out for their games in Lincoln. On Thursday, the team will play in Haymarket Park, and on Saturday, a sold-out crowd will watch them play in Memorial Stadium. The organization hires locals wherever they travel. Harper Mayfield said those people will man the merchandise tables and help with ticketing and logistics on game day. The applications are already open, and beyond some paperwork, there's not much you have to do before the game. Workers do get paid $15 an hour. You can read about these stories and much more on our website at klkntv.com, but for now, we'll see everybody tomorrow with more trending stories.
When we come back, a safer choice under the sun. The new ingredient making its way into sunscreen in the U.S. and what health experts are saying about it. And coming up all new at 5, the intense fight to contain a fast-growing wildfire in western Nebraska, where the struggle stands right now after the flames consume thousands of acres.
I'm Roy.
Right now, as summer fun heats up, the FDA is giving the green light to a new type of sunscreen. It's an ingredient that has been popular in Asia and Europe for a little while, but until now was prohibited from being used in the United States. And as ABC's Alex Stone reports, doctors say the new sunscreen ingredient could be healthier for all of us.
As you slather on the sunscreen this summer, you may not be thinking about what ingredients are in that sunscreen, but one ingredient is about to shake up the sunscreen market in the U.S.
So it's called bemotrizinol, and it's been used in Europe and Asia for decades.
Doctors are praising the approval of bemotrizinol because it has several main benefits, including it lasts longer than current ingredients, can better resist cancer-causing UV rays, it leaves less of a white coat on the skin, and it's not absorbed into the bloodstream.
The fact that this ingredient really doesn't seem to be absorbed in any kind of meaningful way based on the data that we have thus far into the bloodstream is just especially reassuring from a safety perspective.
It's the first new sunscreen ingredient approved by the FDA in more than 20 years. And because bemotrizinol is less likely to break down in the sun, it's been proven to provide better protection from the sun.
This ingredient particularly addresses something that was sort of missing, which is long-term stable protection against the longer wavelengths of UV light, and that's UVA radiation.
And because it's a chemical ingredient rather than mineral, the less white layer on the skin that can be seen when it's applied may make people more willing to use it. More use can equal less skin cancer. And now the bad news, it's going to take a while for major brands of sunscreen like these to begin including the new ingredient, which means bemotrizinol likely won't be available in U.S. sunscreens until the end of this year. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Let's get one final check of the weather before the top of the hour. Dom, take it away.
Yeah, Emma, it's going to be hot and humid for those Wednesday night plans. Temperatures sticking around here in the low 90s. The heat index here also in the low to mid 90s. So drink plenty of water if we spend time outdoors. Lots of sunshine, though. A little bit of a northwesterly breeze out there. Shouldn't impact any of those outdoor plans by any means. We'll keep an eye out then for a stray shower or two, mainly for far southeastern Nebraska over the next couple of hours. But better chances then as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures tonight down into the mid 60s to then upper 60s in a few spots. Then as you head out towards the north and west, we'll see the 50s for those overnight lows. Highs tomorrow on the cooler side behind the passing cold front. We'll see highs across the state, then range from the upper 70s to lower 80s, including 80 degrees here in Lincoln. Might even be a bit breezy as we go throughout the afternoon with an occasional gust then up to 35 miles per hour. It should be clear, though, by the Savannah Bananas game here in Lincoln at 7 o'clock on your Thursday night. So that's at least some good news there. Gradually clearing as we go throughout the day. Sunny for Friday, but chances for showers and thunderstorms do return for the Savannah Banana games there on Saturday at Memorial Stadium. More details on that as we get closer.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Tom. And that will do it for Channel 8 News at 4:30. Rod Fowler's coming up next, along with our team of reporters and Now Citizen journalists, coming up at the top of the hour.
The Amigos Yankee, reinventing the ordinary hot dog. Crispy cheesy original and bold jalapeno popper. At Amigos, where food is fun.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR.
At Stanton, you get the best value.
from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, ceasefire failing.
They don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it.
President Trump announcing the U.S. will be hitting Iran hard, what his rationale is of the new wave of strikes. Also tonight, mushroom arrests.
People think when you go to these businesses, these substances are controlled. They're not.
A local smoke shop is found to be selling psychedelic edibles. What lengthy process our law enforcement took to make this discovery. Also, South Fork fire. New wildfire sparks up in northwestern Nebraska. How rapidly this blaze is spreading. And from Lincoln to the largest, the world's most anticipated sports tournament is coming up quickly. How a U.S. fan group starting in Lincoln, Nebraska became the biggest U.S. fan group in the world. But first tonight, let's get you up to speed on the possibility for some severe weather around our area. What a change in weather we've had today. This view of the rainy morning we had sent into our local news app. Dark clouds and wet ground as far as the eye can see, but the sun is shining now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Fowler. As you can see from this video right here sent into our Now Local News app, the clouds, yeah, they have parted ways, revealing Mr. Sunshine. A hot day for us here in the Lincoln area. I want to take you with me here as we take a look at the conditions right now outside in the capital city. A live look here near downtown Lincoln from our Allo Cam. It may be calm now, but it sounds like a decent chance of storms late tonight into tomorrow morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro for a better idea of what he thinks just might happen. Dom.
Hey, good evening, Rod. Yeah, it's that time frame from about 1 to 4 in the morning that we really need to make sure we have ways to receive severe weather alerts. Not everybody is going to see storms tonight, but scattered severe storms possible from Grand Island down here towards Beatrice, Lincoln, Columbus, and the Omaha metro area. We're under that slight level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather. We could see a brief spin-up tornado, that mainly to the north of I-80, but large hail up to golf ball size and damaging winds up to 65 miles per hour will be possible then in the strongest storms. And again, happening overnight, so it's important to make sure we can be alerted to any severe weather moving through the area. But it's been hot and humid here for your Wednesday as we take a quick look at Schoen's roofing camera down in Beatrice. A few puffy fair weather clouds as we have a cold front actually moving through, but you wouldn't believe it by those temperatures into the mid 90s here in Lincoln, the low 90s off to our south and east. And then as you head out towards the north and west, temperatures here still into the 80s. But the heat index, not much better. It feels like the mid to upper 90s, so something to consider if you are heading out then. For any evening plans tonight outside, be ready for the heat and humidity. That front, as it passes through, may spark up a spot shower or two. Looks like we might have one going just to the south of the Omaha area. That will stay to the south and east of Lincoln. But as I mentioned, chances for storms then as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We'll make sure you're prepared coming up in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Dominic. The city of Grand Island dealing with some damage from last night's storms. Check out these pictures. Trees ripped right out of the ground from powerful gusts of wind. Police are reminding people to also watch out for downed power lines as they pick up the pieces. And people with tree debris can drop them off at the Landscape Depot on North 80th Road there. Developing now, a new big wildfire quickly spreading in northwest Nebraska. Behind me, you can see pictures from the Banner County Volunteer Fire Department of the South Fork fire. The burning reaching the roads in many spots, jumping over some of them. In fact, Highway 20 is closed due to the fire's rapid growth. Nebraska Forest Service posting they're helping with efforts to try and get it under control. State Patrol joining the battle and alerting people to stay aware of road closures near Crawford and Harrison. NC Web is putting out this map. They're updating just about every hour to show the sheer size of the area of the fire right now. Around 9,000 acres of land has burned. The fire has since moved into Fort Robinson State Park. We'll be sure to keep you updated as containment efforts continue tonight. The ceasefire in the war in Iran is failing as President Trump prepares more strikes. The president telling reporters today that the U.S. would hit Iran hard again today after launching a new wave of strikes last night. Our Meg West joins us live in the studio to fill us in on the president's rationale for attacking Iran during the ceasefire. Meg.
Yes, good evening, Rod. Now, we've been tracking this story all day, and just mere minutes before walking into the newsroom and coming on air tonight, we're hearing from Central Command. They're posting on social media saying that they have begun these retaliatory attacks on Iran, targeting multiple targets within the country. The new wave of blasts coming in the wake of President Trump claiming on social media today that Iran has been defeated and will pay the price for stringing them along. The president alerting the world of his plans to resume attacks, suggesting they're still close to a deal even as strikes light up the Middle Eastern sky.
But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers.
The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, speaking at an Air Force base in Florida today, saying that the strikes planned for tonight that are currently underway will advance our military interests and enhance our diplomatic position, adding that the president has given Iran an open hand to make a deal, but that we are not opposed to negotiating with bombs. Now, Iran's president has responded earlier today to the news of the incoming attacks, saying that they will stand firm against any threat or pressure from the U.S. We, of course, will keep you updated as this progresses. In the newsroom, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
All right. Thank you, Meg. Breaking now, the athletic director at Texas Tech responding to the action taken against the school. Big Ten athletic directors telling their schools to not schedule games against Texas Tech. It all comes after a court on Monday overruled the NCAA, which banned Brendan Sorsby from playing because he bet on college games. Texas Tech AD Kirby Hocutt responding in this lengthy statement, saying pulling Sorsby off the team and his support system might be a cleaner headline, but he doesn't think it would be the right one. Also, here's Texas Tech's head coach on the situation today.
For us as a university, I do want y'all to tell y'all, we were not a part of this lawsuit by any way. We did not pay for his lawyer, right? This was not Texas Tech taking the NCAA to court. What we did was support our player that is an addict.
As part of the court's ruling to allow Sorsby to play college football, he will miss the first 2 games of this next season. After that, the coach says it's going to depend on his recovery and readiness. Well, new tonight, a year-long case about mushrooms being sold at a local smoke shop finally results in 2 arrests. This case stemming back to last year when a minor overdosed on mushroom gummies that were purchased, according to police, from Cloud 9 Smoke Shop on South 11th Street. Well, last fall, police began walking into smoke shops in plain clothes to purchase edibles, and they sent those in for tests and found several Schedule I controlled substances in them, including an active ingredient in mushrooms. They say edibles from Cloud 9 came back positive as well for the psychedelic ingredient, and leading them to arrest these 2 men you see here, Khalil and Mirza Omer Meskin. Police are charging both with possession with intent to deliver. Lancaster County's chief deputy with a passionate response today to the crime.
People think when you go to these businesses, these substances are controlled. They're not. And it's scary, and I really want parents to understand and make sure they're watching what their kids are doing. And they're selling this supposedly legally. Nobody really knows what's in these products, and we need to make sure that in our city that they're not available.
Alchin adds that they're going to make sure that these products do not bounce back into businesses for them to start selling again. All right, let's take some time here to talk a little football. Big news for Nebraska quarterback commit Trey Taylor today. Taylor officially received his 5th star by 24/7 Sports for what this means for Trey and, of course, Nebraska football. Let's bring in Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson here in the studio. Nate?
Yeah, hey, thank you, Rod. For those that have been following Trey's journey, I think obtaining his 5th star was just a matter of time, especially after his MVP showing at the Elite 11 finals. But this is a huge news for Trey and Nebraska football. And the news sending some ripples through social media today. Taylor is now the #8 overall recruit in the 2027 class and the #1 quarterback nationally, which makes him one of the highest rated prospects to commit to the Huskers in recent years. Of course, recent memory, Dylan Raiola, when he committed. But Taylor, for those who don't know, will play his senior season at Millard South this fall. And this guy can absolutely sling it, showing off his arm last year in the Battle of the Boneyard at Memorial Stadium. Millard South has already begun their summer workouts, and his practice sessions have been well documented so far. And Taylor not only can play on the field, but he has been an active recruiting voice for Nebraska football since his commitment. He's already one of the more popular Husker athletes without even enrolling yet. And when he gets to Lincoln, that reception will be something to watch. Excited for Taylor's senior season here in Nebraska. We'll talk some more ball coming up in the Sports Zone. For now, the Rod will send things back over to you.
Thank you, Nate. Stay with us. We have more heading your way after the break and a fresh batch of stories in our 6 o'clock newscast, including debating deals, how a lawsuit filed against the NCAA by 2 California football players could impact how Huskers receive NIL deals. And coming up after the break, fan frenzy, how a U.S. national soccer team fan club starting in Lincoln became the biggest in the world. Don't go away. The countdown to the World Cup is on and excitement is building. The World Cup is less than 24 hours away.
Dempsey, an early goal, one of the earliest goals in World Cup final history.
The U.S., Canada, and Mexico preparing to host the largest tournament in history.
An opportunity for us to also welcome a diverse net of international travelers.
And right here in Lincoln, fans are brimming with excitement.
It's just a really lively, fun environment that really brings people together.
Every time there's a U.S. game on TV, we want to make sure there's a place that anyone could come and join.
Tonight, how Lincoln's largest U.S. fan group is preparing for kickoff against Paraguay. And you are taking a live look at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, where Mexico will host South Africa in the opening game of the World Cup. Now, the U.S. will play their first game Friday, hosting a decent Paraguay side at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. But here in Lincoln, soccer fans are coming together to cheer on the U.S., led by the American Outlaws, the nation's largest soccer support group, getting its start here in the capital city almost 20 years ago. Channel 8's Emma Norwood joins joins me after getting a closer look at the group's history. And Emma, I see you are ready to go for tomorrow.
Hey, don't you like the scarf here?
I love it.
I got it from the American Outlaws. They are ready for the games to begin, and like these fans that you see here from my hometown, Charlotte of North Carolina, I think I'm going to blend in with the group. I got to say that.
Yeah.
The nonprofit stretches across the nation and even overseas as a way of creating a unified culture of soccer fans. The World Cup is right around the corner. And the American Outlaws are ready.
We are probably one of the largest organized fan groups in the world with 25,000 paying members.
The national group planting its roots right here in Lincoln, almost 20 years ago. United States soccer fans Corey Donahue, Ben Cohoon, and Justin Brunken noticing how big the soccer community is in the capital city, but how little space there was for everyone.
A lot of people don't think of soccer in Lincoln, Nebraska, but there's a big group of people, and we found that almost 20 years ago of like a group of people that wanted to watch U.S. soccer and watch soccer. The problem we had in Lincoln, Nebraska, there's just no place to always watch the games on TV because there's all these different sports going on all the time. But every time there's a U.S. game on TV, we wanted to make sure there was a place that anyone could come and join.
The group now stretching across 200 cities worldwide, with their movement even gaining the attention of well-known brands. Adidas designing custom shoes for the nonprofit, a way of showcasing the fan base's unique passion for the sport.
They're a reflection of the '94 denim kit, so they have kind of those slanted stars that are on that jersey, that kind of iconic U.S. jersey. And these are called our iconic shoes as well.
Now the capital city is all set to go crazy as the World Cup begins and brings communities together.
Our goal is really to provide the biggest watch party in Nebraska at the rail yard. So we really want as many people to come down, experience that atmosphere, because like watching the World Cup is such a unique thing. It's only every 4 years, and it's so much better experienced with a group of people. That first goal when that goes in, seeing how excited people are, people hugging strangers, there's really nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like Trevin mentioned, the American Outlaws group here in Lincoln is hosting a watch party at both the rail yard and at Captain Jack's in downtown Lincoln on Friday as the U.S. team takes on Paraguay. Well, now, Rod,
yes.
What I have here is a candle that the American Outlaws made themselves. It smells just like soccer.
Well, I guess the question is, what does soccer smell like?
You know, they said that it's a combination of sweat, beer, and turf. So I want you to give it a try.
This is for real. This is the first time I'm smelling it.
Let me know what you think.
Kind of smells like cologne.
Yeah. A little bit of the soccer.
I don't
ting
smell
to
sweat.
That's not a bad thing.
Little turf and beer, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
put this on after I shave or something like that. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah,
All
perfect.
right. Thank you so much, Emma. All right, it is time for your weather.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
Well, hey, whoever made the candle, I think the next one we got to work on, can we get one that smells like, you know, the smell you get when the thunderstorms coming in? Just might as well throw that opportunity out there. If you can do that, you know, you can find my email on the website here. We'll talk. Going forward, though, as we head towards the middle of June, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, equal chances of being above or below average. I know we've seen lots of warmer weather the last couple of days. Then we cool down as we head into this weekend and kind of settle in to some more seasonable mid-June temperatures. Now, in terms of precipitation, also equal chances of being above or below. Storm chances tonight as well as Saturday, but after that, looks like we might be getting a little more dry for the middle to end portions of June. So again, certainly would take the moisture we can get it. I wish we were doing it without the severe weather, but such is June here in the state of Nebraska. As we take a look here in southeast Nebraska over the capital city, lots of blue skies on your Berry Law camera. Temperatures still very warm, 94 degrees here in Lincoln, 93 in Beatrice, and 92 in Hebron. As you head off towards the west, though, a few spots still hanging on them to the mid to upper 80s, but certainly a warm one here in southeast Nebraska, the upper 80s to low 90s as you head out to the Tri-Cities. We are seeing some relief starting to work its way on in, starting to see those winds turn to be a little more out of the north and west as a cold front is getting ready to move on through the area. That will try and spark up then maybe a few light showers here in southeastern Nebraska. We can see that on your satellite. Again, these are going to stay mainly to the south and east of the capital city, but Nebraska City, then down towards the far southeastern corner of the state, Falls City, may see a few showers and possibly a rumble of thunder this evening. We'll be interested to see how long those can hold together, but elsewhere fairly clear outside of a few light showers now working their way towards North Platte. Going forward, though, as we head through the next several hours, still clear here in Lincoln. It's as we go past midnight tonight that we need to start paying attention for that storm potential for us here in the capital city and for really the greater southeastern Nebraska area. These are going to fire up close to Interstate 80 tonight between likely 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and then try and move their way off to the north and east. Models today have trended these storms to form a little more to the north of Lincoln, certainly not out of the woods yet, but that's just been the trend we've been monitoring throughout the day. That's likely going to have some impacts then to the Omaha Metro as they head out the door very early on Thursday morning, and then we'll continue to race off to the north and east as we get closer then to lunchtime. We should be clearing out though across the eastern half of the state as we go through your Thursday afternoon. Good news for the Savannah Bananas game in town at 7 o'clock here in Lincoln. Should see plenty of clear skies, and as we talked about in the 4:30 show, sometimes you got to just take a second and enjoy a completely clear stormcast across the state, especially with how busy we've been the last couple of days. Looks like we should see plenty of clear skies heading then into your Friday afternoon. In terms of severe weather potential, though, tonight, slight level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather. That's for Grand Island, Columbus, down in Beatrice, and us in the capital city. That means scattered severe storms are possible. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado mainly to the north of I-80, but also hail between golf ball and then now up to tennis ball sized, also to the north of I-80 there, and also going to keep an eye on the potential for wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour in the strongest storm. So not everyone's going to see that, but that's the possibility in some of the stronger storms we could see here in southeast Nebraska. Also monitoring then the potential for severe weather on Saturday. Scattered severe storms, once again, a possibility for the Lincoln area. Temperatures then tomorrow much cooler than we've seen the last couple of days, upper 70s to lower 80s, and a little bit breezy out of the north and west between 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting then to 35. As we head towards this weekend, temperatures sticking around the mid-80s for a little bit, then down into the mid-70s on Sunday and into Monday. Back towards normal then as we head towards the middle of the week. And I'm telling you, Rod, after the past couple days, and especially 94 right now in Lincoln, I'd take the mid-70s.
They do sound much more comfortable. Thank you, Dominic. New details now in a case involving a woman striking 5 people with her car. Behind me is the scene we brought you over the weekend in the Telegraph District east of downtown, where this hectic crime occurred. Lincoln police announcing the arrest of Lakeisha Amerson today in connection to the crime.
Lakeisha Amerson of Lincoln was identified as the driver of the black 2011 Cadillac CTS sedan involved in the Sunday morning assault. She drove the car into a crowd of people, seriously injuring one person, then backed into an SUV before driving off.
Amerson is now faced with charges of second-degree assault and use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony. Stay with us. We have more for you after the break and a whole lot more in our 6 o'clock news, including inflation report. Wall Street is clapping, staying optimistic, but how the latest inflation report impacted the stock market and showing how you're being impacted with your expenses. Stay with us.
Tonight,
help protect your life's work.
There you are.
Who's your rock?
Well, mainly hot and humid for any Wednesday evening plans in southeast Nebraska. However, as we head past midnight tonight, going to want to be severe weather aware. Scattered severe storms possible for us in the Tri-Cities, Lincoln, up towards the Omaha metro, where we could see an isolated tornado too, mainly to the north of I-80. However, the large hail and damaging wind threat certainly a possibility. Models still kind of out on how far north those storms will start, so it's going to be important to be alerted to those storm chances as we go through the overnight hours. Then we are cleared out, though, by about lunchtime. We'll see gradual clearing throughout the day. Should be fine then for the Savannah Bananas game in the evening. High temperatures in the low 80s. Another warm day on Friday as highs get back to the upper 80s, though. Looking at another chance for scattered storms as we head towards the start of the weekend.
All right, thank you, Dom, and thank you for joining us. World News is coming your way next, and we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
The Amigos